What is up, everybody? My name is Dane Thompson. Welcome back to another episode of BurnDown. So we are still on the road to Rocky Mountain Race Week 1.0 2021. I'm getting excited. We still have some work to do, and I still got to work on the trailer. I haven't even touched the trailer yet, but I figure the car is the important part of the mix. The trailer is secondary. So, and it's technically a little bit easier because it's just rolling wheels that we just drag with this thing. So where we're at on this, we're on the exact spot I left off last time. If you watch the videos, we've been upgrading different things and moving through the car. And we've got the radiator in there and situated. I got everything back. We put the little beauty panel, all that stuff on. I just got to get that thing 100% in. So we're going to wire up the convertible Camaro. We're going to wire up the fans today. And I double checked, and they're 12-inch fans. It looks like the motor's roughly the same size as like the 16-inch one that I had in the car. Well, on the larger fan with the larger blades, the startup is a lot harder. It pulls a lot more amps to get that big old, the fan blade spinning. As where these guys are little, but it looks like the motor's damn near the same size. So it said they're rated like 10 amps, which is nothing. So instead of running like the big DT plug like I have on the other fan and on this, we're going to put just a weather pack in. And I've got a 4-prong that I was going to use in the car for the boom box. And essentially I didn't end up using it. I just sleeved what was there and kind of wrapped it all up. So I've already got a 4-pin weather pack. I got all the pins. I got the tool to do it. So I figured, hey, 10 amps, the weather pack will hold that. So we're going to do a four-prong weather pack. So we'll rip the radiator back out of the car because it's just setting in place from the last video. And we will do the wiring on the fans. We'll get it all wired into one plug. And then we'll get the relay all done. So we'll go over that real quick. I don't want to spend a lot of time because I'm killing you and beating you guys up with Champion Cooling Systems radiator stuff. So we'll get that done, and then it is on to brakes. So I want to focus mainly on the brakes today. I got a master cylinder out of a 1990 Ford Bronco 2, which is like the little weird one. If you guys ever seen it, I had a friend growing up that had one. It was kind of funny, but I picked that because it has roughly, it's a little over a 7/8 bore. So I don't, whatever the next little line, it's 23 millimeter, I believe what it was. So I've got a manual brake setup, so I want the smaller bore size, so I'll have more pressure on the pedal. Plus this car is set up manual from the factory. It's always been manual, so the pedal throw and all that stuff should work out decent. So that is today's adventure. We'll button up the wiring on the thing, make sure the fan and all that works, and then we can fire the car up and move it over here so I don't have to roll around in the dirt to do the brakes. So that is kind of the reason we're doing the double duty today. So let's get started. Enough rambling. We got plenty of work to do. All right, here she is in place still. Haven't played with it since. Everything's just tentatively setting in there. And then I also got some more straights. Can't even talk this morning. So we'll see. This one was a little short. I just put it on there for mock-up. So hopefully I got something roughly this size. Give it a little more meat to grab on and we should be good. But we're gonna pull this boy out of here so we can wire the plugs up, figure out how we wanna get those things routed and handled. And then I gotta pull this wire out. This is a DT, this is a really nice connector. This will hold some pretty good amps, but we're gonna swap it out with one that's a little less intense. And I was gonna try to put both of these fans, I could probably put both of these through this plug, but the problem is running both of these wires. I just want them separate. So instead of trying to connect both of those to one of these, and I don't have the tool, and Buddy Joe has the tool for this, and I don't want to bother him. It's early. So I got the weather pack tool I borrowed from him. So let's weather pack it, and then yeah, we'll be good enough. And then that cruises up and around and goes to that relay there. So should be pretty straightforward. So let's get this boy out of here, get it wired up, and then put it all back in. All right, we got this bad boy out. So first thing before I forget, I got these little plugs. This is for the transmission cooler, and then you can see there's a little tube in there, and it basically just runs the transmission fluid through here, and then it cools it on the end tank of the fluid in there. So anyway, I'm gonna plug these up, not because it would leak, just because I don't want to get crud in there. If I ever decide to use it, then we can use it. If not, at least it makes it look a little more classy. Even though, granted, these are probably gonna rust, but anyway, maybe we can spritz them with a little paint. Maybe we'll do that, and then we'll put them in there. Shoot them with a little paint, so that way they don't totally rust on me. And then this is the cap that we made. It has little hold downs. Goes on top, and this is a little crossover. I got another one of these. Hopefully these are, if I got another one this length, we're good. If not, I may extend this guy just a little bit more, but we'll get there. And then this is some rubber. This is going to go inside here, so when the hold down is pushing down, we're not chewing nothing up. So that is that. So it has these little hold downs. So what we'll do is we'll take these out of there. Maybe kind of leave that one. Just take some strain off the end. And I just want to get both these over as far as they'll go because my plug comes from this side. So this one essentially is going to dictate how far we can go. And then we'll attach it on here. I got one of those little clips or whatever, so that way we can rivet that down and then it'll hold it. So that way this thing doesn't flop anywhere. Maybe we'll get a zip tie around here. But again, if this is nice and tight, this thing ain't going nowhere. But that is it. So we're going to take both of these, put them in the same spot as far as we can. We'll put a 4-port plug on that, and then we will run a big pigtail extension. I have to run it up. I have to take everything out of here. I got a whole loom that goes around. This is my ground, and then we'll terminate this with a 4-pin weather pack, and then bada boom, bada bing. So that is that. Not going to bore you guys with the wiring on here, but that's an explanation of the plan. We'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Put some water in, fire this thing back up. Haven't heard it in a little while, so that will be exciting. And then we can put it in the middle of the driveway. Then we can make a mess there and do fun brake stuff. So let me finish this little movie magic, and then we'll get back to doing brakes. All right, I figured I would share this because it's gonna be hard to see once it's in the car. But I got this little zip tie dude that I riveted here, so when this plugs in, these guys aren't going to go anywhere. And then one side is one fan, one side is the other fan. We'll plug it in. Bob's your uncle. We're going to be awesome. And then I kept them so this side's power and this side is ground. So hopefully it should be straightforward. I've got the other side of the plug here. We'll run the wire, I think, first, and then leave it long and put this guy back, and then I'll be able to terminate this. So that is it though. That's how it looks. I'm going to squirt these guys. We'll put these in, and then this dude could go in for the last time. So yeah, that's how we're going to do the fan wiring setup for the boom. All right, I got a bunch of the radiator stuff done, and my son and I went to go get a hose for the lower portion, which is down here, because I think it would be better. I don't even have it to show you, but I use these typically with a piece of metal in between like I did on the top, but then you need a connection point here, here, and then on both sides. So that's 4 points instead of just one at the end of the hose and one at the other. So I went and bought a hose that looks similar to this, but I forgot my truck. My wife borrowed the truck. So I finished up the catch cam plumbing. It comes here. We got it connected. It goes down and then up into this guy, and they got a little hose that hangs down to puke, a little puke hose. Everything up here is tight, and then we're just missing this. So we'll just connect those two, and then that thing is done. So what we're gonna do is I'll show you guys. This is the old Master. It's not old, it's out of a Maverick, I believe. So I'm gonna pull this thing out, and then we're gonna have to redo, obviously, these two lines. And then I'll show you what master cylinder we've got. We got it sitting right over here. So this is going to be the new bay that's going in. So we look pretty darn close. That's funny as far as size and everything goes. And then we'll see. I think this fitting might even be the right fitting for that, which would be awesome. And then obviously I've got a fitting for that. This is just an adapter. So let me pull this out. We'll get rid of the brake fluid and everything. Take this dude out, see how this thing fits, see how we go. And yeah, hopefully we got a bolting deal. That would be slick. All right, well, I always feel like such a caveman, but it didn't fit widthwise, so we had to put these little slots. So let's go test it, see if it'll bolt up now. Okay, so we got this guy mounted in. I've got all my fittings. Got a plan of attack. I'm gonna start with this line here. Fittings are over there, except for the one. And then I'll show you guys this. If you follow this channel long enough, you know that I got this dude. This is the Eastwood brake flare tool. And if you're gonna do brake flares, the bubble flares, like the standard issue stuff, I try to do everything AN, but every once in a while, like in this situation, I can't. This thing will make your life better if you have a car you're doing from scratch. Save up, buy this tool, it'll save you headache, and then sell it, and for the amount of money that you lose, it is worth its weight in gold. Or if you have multiple old cars and things, keep it, and it'll do metric and then standard bubble flares. Then you can get different dies and do like AN, but AN's pretty well. You can do those by hand, but doing these by hand is a pain in the rear. So make these little lines up, show you guys what they look like when we finish. Ta-da! All right, we got those made in the shade, so these dudes are looking good. I know what you're thinking. I don't know what we were doing with this thing. We got like the donkey, like the loop-de-loo, whatever that thing is going. It should have just came around and plugged in, but I don't know, whatever. It's there. We'll just leave it for now. Nothing's getting into it. Seems to be working. Anyway, these look good. One day I'll adjust that. I should probably do it right now, but God, I don't really want to. Anyway, quit looking at me. Quit looking at me. We're gonna go with this. I'm good. That one works. So the next thing is we're all bolted down, and then I got to put the plunger in and then adjust that. So I got to get it underneath on the pedal, and then what you want is you don't want any pressure really on your plunger from the pedal. So you want a little bit of slop, not like a lot of pedal play, but a little bit, so that way it's not pushing on your pedal and then making your brakes drag. And I've done that, so don't do that. So let me go get that set up, and then we'll try to bleed this system and see how we go. Hopefully no leaks. No leaks. All right, I figured I would share this with you guys because this is stuff that you run into, and let you know that I run into it as well. So this is the piece that bolts into the pedal. There's a little clevis, and this is what pushes on the master cylinder, right? Well, it looks like I may have modified this and shortened it to fit the other master cylinder. Well, that screwed me for this one because now this thing's too short. So what we're gonna do is I got lucky and I have a grade 8 bolt. It's about 1 inch longer. So what we're gonna do is basically remake this pin. If you're gonna do something like this too, be mindful of it, because I really didn't want to weld a piece. It needs to be structurally sound, because if this fails, you don't have brakes. So this is one solid piece. I'm gonna cut the head off and round it off so it'll fit in the plunger. And then hopefully this gives us the length that we need. And if I do have to extend this, we're gonna extend the tip of it, not the back of it. So that way this is in the plunger portion of it. So that should give me the extension I need. And actually, as a matter of fact, what I can do is probably just cut off a little portion of this, if this isn't long enough, and just put this in the plunger on the master cylinder to take up some of that gap. But we wanna make sure this thing's still captured. So again, be careful when you're doing stuff. Brakes are very, very important. Don't do anything hokey. This is a grade 8 bolt. It's plenty strong. Like I said, this is 1 inch longer. This should give me all the length that I need. See? So I'll just round this off and we'll stuff it in there. But yeah, like you wouldn't want to weld this. Like if this was too short, trying to weld something on the end of it or over here or in the center, you're really asking for trouble. So don't play around when it comes to this kind of stuff. Unless you got a grade 8 bolt that's the right length and then the right thread pitch, and then you're golden. You also want to make sure you got enough thread in here too. Again, be very mindful when you're messing with brakes, guys. Okay, well, we got it. The extra inch was perfect. It allowed me to adjust the pedal. The only thing is I'll have to just make sure the brake light switch is adjusted, but that's after the fact. And the other thing is, check your pedal length before you start putting fluids in, because I ended up having to take the lines out and pull the master out to get the rod situated. So had I put fluid in, we would have a mess, but I've not put fluid in. The pedal's good. Tighten all the lines. Now we get to put fluid in, and then we'll see how we go. So my wife went to the store. I don't have anybody to help me pump the lines, so I'm gonna wait for her to get back, but I'll get everything ready to rock and roll, and then hopefully it doesn't take a terrible amount of time to bleed these out. That will be good. Push, up, push, hold. Right up, push. All right, well, that is pretty much it for me for today. We're gonna leave off here on Struggle Street just a little bit. The brakes are working, but they don't feel as like a really hard pedal. So I could put check valves in to kind of negate that, which this car does not have check valves in it. So we might do that. I'm gonna check my box of junk. I think I might have check valves. And then also, I just need to bleed them really well. I kind of wore the wife out. She was out here trying to help me, and you know, she has stuff to do too. So we'll get back after it. Tomorrow's a new day. I did move it around. It does stop. It's just not ideal for mountain driving or speeding at, you know, excess of 100 miles an hour. So other than that, we tried the Champion radiator. Everything is fantastic. It works phenomenal. It kicks on, and it takes about a minute or so to bring it down in temperature while it's just sitting here idling. So that is phenomenal, much quicker than the old setup. And I can't wait to take it out for a test drive and make sure it cools while it is in motion. So very excited about that. We'll bring you guys along. We test the thing out. Other than that, you guys know what to do. Like, subscribe, share. I'm gonna clean up. I gotta go. You guys, till next time, keep it locked. I'm out.